The story begins. There were people in the area near the River Thames a long time before the Roman Julius Caesar arrived in Britain in 55 BC. Caesar and his men fought the people in the south of the country, and Caesar said the famous words, "Veni, vidi, vici." I came, I saw, I won. Some people think that Caesar built the first bridge across the river. The Romans came to Britain again 88 years later. The River Thames was important to them, and they started to build a town there, north of the river. They gave it the name Londinium. The name London comes from this Roman name. 15 years later, Londinium was a busy, important place. But there were problems. In 60 AD, the Romans started a fight with the wrong person. After her husband died, Boudicca, a queen in the east of the country, was angry with the Romans. She and her followers fought the Romans. They started a great fire and destroyed most of Londinium. But the Romans built the city again, and it was bigger and better. By the year 100 AD, London was the capital of Roman Britain. 100 years later, the Romans built thick city walls round Londinium. Between 20,000 and 50,000 people lived inside these walls. You can see some of the stones of the old Roman walls today. When the Romans left Britain in 410, the good times ended. But then Saxons came to Britain from an area in Germany, and they started living near the river. In the early days, the Saxons did not use the old city, but in 834, Vikings from Scandinavia started to destroy other towns and cities. In 886, the Saxon king Alfred moved his people inside the old Roman city walls of Londinium. London Bridge is falling down. Many British children sing this famous song, but not everybody knows the story. When the Vikings took London in 1013, the English king, Athelred, asked King Olaf of Norway for help. Olaf's men pulled London Bridge down when the Vikings were on it. The bridge and the Vikings fell into the river. In 1050, another king, Edward I, started building a great church, Westminster Abbey, west of the city. The king built a palace, Westminster Palace, between the abbey and the river, because he wanted to watch the builders. Workers finished the building in 1065, and Edward died days later. In 1066, a new king of England, William I from France, stood in Westminster Abbey. William and his son, William Rufus, started to build fine new buildings in the city. The city was now about 1,000 years old. With its new centre in Westminster, it was ready for the next 1,000 years.